Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Nick's Toy Box. Today we are diving into the Marvel Spider-Man 2 Hot Toys video game masterpiece collection, Venom. In case you weren't aware, this is probably one of the biggest, craziest undertakings I think Hot Toys has ever taken from, I think, anything. And I am so excited to get into this thing. Loads of fun with this one. I really hope you enjoyed this video. In case you can't tell by the size of this package, this dude is a behemoth. I'm sure you've seen him on TikTok, YouTube, or any other form of media because, I mean, collectors everywhere are losing their mind. We knew he was big from the game. We knew he was big from the 19 inches of Venom we got from the collector's edition statue. But actually getting this figure in hand from Hot Toys for the 1/6 scale really puts it into perspective on just how ginormous this guy is. Getting this box into my front door was absolutely crazy. Seeing it show up by FedEx, I was blown away. Like, I saw people posing with it, with how big the box was, and I was like, man, yeah, that is a big box, but really, like, nothing will prepare you until you actually see this thing in hand. So, sit back, get comfortable, and get ready to dive in to probably one of the craziest pieces I have in my collection. And if you decide to grab one, probably one of the craziest pieces in your collection. So, we gotta look at the box. I know that's not what we all really care about. So let's hope we dive into what we all really care about, and that is Venom himself. Gotta say, I'm impressed we do get the window packaging for somebody this big. You know, I wasn't real sure how that was gonna work, but we got it. Let's go on over here and go over what we have for accessories. We actually get a good amount. I was, worried for a figure this big and this expensive that we wouldn't get a lot. But, we got 3 tongues. We get our 2 head sculpts, which of course we'll dive into all of this. Then we get his fist hands. We get some open palm hands / claw hands. We then get some like symbiote tendrils that can go on like his legs or his arms. We get our usual stand, which I'll get into that. We get the tendrils for the back and then these massive claws. Here's the stand that I was just talking about. Huge. It's the big ones, of course, we're used to it. I really like the Venom font. Really like his logo on the plate. We got the black peg and the crotch grabber. Definitely use this thing. It'll really help you in your figure. But bam, there he is. Just a quick little turntable. Just backing it up here just so you can get an absolute view of him. Geez, this dude is ginormous. I wasn't even sure if my turntable would be able to support him. Very happy it was. I guess that's money well spent. I really want to take this in. Look at this glistening on his logo and on him himself. I mean, even not putting him in any pose, just having him in his box pose or like your museum pose, he still looks crazy. You got that evil grin. Very like reminiscent of the early McFarlane, if you ask me. Just like no tongue, just a grin. It really reminds me of some of that stuff. Now that we got a quick little view of them, let's keep it pushing it back to the accessories. As I was saying, we weren't hurting for them, which I'm really excited about. My biggest thing that I'll just get out of the way, I love how the pieces that go together don't look the exact same. It's with the claws, the back tendrils, and even the arm tendrils. They're all shaped differently. It really gives that uniqueness that I really want, just because it really makes it feel more alive. I had some stuff that looks identical, like on the black suit tendrils on the robot arms. It's all the same, so it kind of gives you a meh feeling. Look at how big these claws are. I don't think there's any other way to pose them other than with these on, because it adds that much more shelf presence. I love the contrast of the like textured alive up to the smooth like claws. It really has an awesome contrast, and it really just adds something extra to it, and I really love it. And we got the back tendrils, which I was kind of on the fence back and forth, but I ultimately decided like I think my Venom needs to have it on. Add more shelf presence, adds more uniqueness, makes it feel more alive. Like I was saying, they look different, which is really nice. Getting them on is really easy, really simple. They have different shapes, so there's no way you're gonna accidentally like put something where it doesn't need to go. I think it's really cool. I think my only complaint is I wish there would have been paint like of the white on some of the black right there when it plugs in to make it look like it's transitioning into it. It's kind of like a sharp contrast, and I'm just not a big fan of it. I think that's gonna be one of my small gripes here. It's not like a deal breaker because I'm not really looking at it from the back often. But I just feel like how much we're paying and what we're getting, I think we need it. But if you're not a fan of them, it's really easy to plop these in right there. From far away, they are really nice and not really that much of an eyesore, and you get the whole logo. Head sculpts. Really got to dive into these because I am so excited. Love them to death. I love both of them. It's so hard to decide which one's my favorite. I am probably going to go with this one. You can see some of the lines, but luckily it's all black, so they blend in. I really love this one because I love the ripping of the gums on the side. I love the teeth, the wickedness. But let's not sleep on this one though too. Like I was saying, that Todd McFarlane-esque grin. You can actually fit some of the tongues in there, which is really cool. We'll get into that here momentarily. But I mean, they really didn't skimp on the paint job in making this feel alive. I love the kind of dots going into the eyes from the black suit. It really adds something to it. Like I said, the grin, the teeth, the yellowing of it, the paint job. It's awesome. The eyes are the same, so you don't have to worry about that. Like if you had a preference, I mean, they're the same, so there's no worry there. I love all the tongues. I will say, you'll notice here in one of the videos I pointed out my long one, the like curved one, the magnet was not properly adhered to the tongue, so they're separating. I only reached out to Sideshow. They're sending me a replacement. So shout out Sideshow. Thank y'all for that. But I do love the closed mouth with the tongues. I'm always going to be a fan because I've grown to love Venom. With the tongues, it reminds me of the old Spider-Man cartoons, and like that's what I grew up with. So I really like it. And you know, same with our Carnage. They don't skip on them. We get 3 different versions, all painted very well, very detailed. And I love that 2 of them can fit in the closed mouth if you wanted that, because I think like it really adds something to it. But you know, all 3 of them fit in the open mouth one. I think whenever I get my replacement for the long curved tongue, I probably will pop that one in. It wasn't my personal favorite, so I was a little bummed that the magnet wasn't working. It happens. Whatever, I'm getting my replacement. You know, it's all magnetized, the tongues and the head. So posing and snapping them in and doing it so easy. You don't have to worry about like breaking anything trying to do it. See how easy it is. Really takes no time at all. I really love these head sculpts. Especially, like I said, when you add the tongues to it and the magnet, posing it all a which way, whichever one to look. So easy, so much fun. Oh, real quick, while we're doing all this stuff with the tongues, I will say, I don't hate the shoulders. That's the biggest complaint for a lot of people. Growing up with Marvel Legends and a lot of those type of figures, I'm used to it. I would much rather have the articulation that we get with this guy and the fun posing him that we have with him, as opposed to like stiffness because of seamless joints. It's not a deal breaker for me, honestly. You know, it's how it was with my Carnage. I can live with it, honestly. Here's the moment when I noticed that my tongue was broken, and it plops off real quick. You see, there's the magnet. Anyways, I don't think the non-seamless joints are a deal breaker for me. That's just me personally. Like, let's be realistic. It's a ginormous figure, giving us a lot of articulation for how big he is. Something's got to give. There's the long tongue that does also fit in the closed mouth. Can't wait to get my replacement. It's so cool. It's probably my favorite tongue, and it sucks that mine doesn't work. But anyways, we'll keep it pushing on that. Like I was saying, magnetized head. So posing is limitless. You can make him do a spin on it. I can make him face backwards for whatever shenanigans you wanted to do, I guess. But the posing is like limitless on your head, which is really cool. I mean, that's like one of the main features here, right? You got your ratchet jointed socket arms. Posing them is pretty simple. You know, you can pull them out and move them around. They click, you know, up and down when you do it. But I mean, we do get loads of movement because it spins all the way around. Like, there's really no limitation in it. Pop them out for more quick free movement, which I gotta say, for how big of a figure this is, I'm impressed with it. You're not gonna see a lot of it in this video, me deep diving into it, just because that's just not what I want to do. I want to talk about stuff like this, where I mentioned it earlier, but we'll go more in detail. Like stuff like this where I think stuff is really cool, and that being the suit. It feels alive. It looks alive when you have all that gleaming on it, all the different textures on his Spidey logo, his hands, and then, like I was saying, like even the eyes, and everywhere on the black it's supposed to be the symbiote. Like, it feels like it's really alive and moving, and the light gets underneath it. It really gives you a sense of this is a living thing, which is really cool. They did a really great job. Here in a minute, I bring out my black suit Spider-Man. from the Spider-Man 2 game as well, so you can see kind of the difference, because I think there is a difference, and I think in a way that like works in a really awesome way. I'll explain. So here you go, you got them side by side. What I really love about it is like the black suit Spider-Man, the symbiote Spider-Man, like you see some aspects of it like here, but overall it's still kind of a clean look. It still matches kind of Spider-Man's aesthetic, but then you get Venom and it's like totally unleashed. I think it's a really sharp contrast, a night and day difference of the symbiote being fully let loose as opposed to being more tamed on Peter Parker. I love it. I think that's just really cool. Posing, like I said, you're not gonna see me doing crazy stuff. If you want that, go look at like a TikToker or something. But posing him is loads of fun. I just do some small stuff here and there just so you can get an idea of how he looks. I mean, really, like minus like his ab area, which you can still crunch down pretty well. Pretty much like the limit is your imagination. There's so much you could do. Loads of fun. This video actually took me a lot longer than expected because I just keep playing with him every time I brought him off my shelf to do these videos, just because he's just that much fun. And when I have all the accessories out, it's just like, okay, time to play with my giant toy. You know what I mean? Like, he's loads of fun. Like even just doing a small stance like this without having him have a crazy pose, like I said, he still feels like an absolute unit to look at, and that's just because intentional of how he is. I also brought out the red and black suit Spidey, just, you know, for another size comparison and just for the fun you can have with your other figures with him. Whatever, that's not the big thing. In case you needed another size comparison, here he is next to Carnage. This was loads of fun. I really like having them together, especially when you get some like Spider-Man involved, because like it really just, it's fun. I think it's loads of fun. I mean, part of this is like playing with toys, right? If you have the right characters, you can have so much fun with this. You know what I mean? Like, really felt like I was having a huge fight here. And this is like your obligation that I got to do it. Size comparison from like really small stuff to bigger stuff. So you got your little Andrew Garfield Lego, just so you can get a size comparison. And he's just so tiny compared to this absolute behemoth. I do a lot of stuff, so you know, whatever. We got a nice Funko Pop of the same character from the same video game. There you go. Super tiny still. It's so funny. Like, I never thought I'd have something this ginormous. Here you have the Black Suit Ultimate Spider-Man, purple variant. You know, I love the purple for Black Suit Spidey. I think he's really cool. Here's my CT Black Suit Peter Parker. Also, you know, I mean, I'm a big fan of symbiotes, in case you couldn't tell by all the stuff that I have. But this is so just fun to get out my everyday figures and put them against something that is like this absolutely crazy looking of a figure. It's nuts, really. It's absolutely crazy. Here's Venom, just a different one, and it doesn't get old putting them side by side with all of these other dudes. It's just like he just overpowers all of them. Here, you know, we got the black suit again, busting them out just so you can get another side comparison of another Hot Toys. Your like standard 1/6 scale, and it's nuts. It's absolutely crazy that we have this big of a like size difference. It honestly, it blows my mind, but like in the best way. Like, I'm not like upset about it. Got to do it. Got to show you him against the 19 inches of Venom. You know, the collector's edition statue. From this angle, it looks about the same. It is still taller, but it is cool to have these side by side. Final thoughts, closing thoughts. All the thoughts. I love this figure. My favorite in the collection. I really don't have a lot of complaints on him. Like I said, I was a little upset about the tongue, but they're replacing it. I wish we would have had some white on the back tendrils to kind of show it fading into it. That's like small nitpicking. Overall, it is a phenomenal figure. All the work on it, like from the teeth to that ripping jaw, like, you know what I mean? Like, everything about it. Absolute awesome figure. He's really expensive, so if you can afford him, you know, get him. But otherwise, I understand this is a very expensive hobby, and this is an expensive figure for an expensive hobby. So I know that I am very fortunate to be able to like have this figure and show him to y'all. As always, I appreciate y'all watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, notifications, and all that, and show up for the next one. All right, later.